Hello everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Hey everybody, Cantonese Cat here. 3 stocks, Tesla, Palantir, and Nvidia. Let's talk about them real quick. You are looking at the weekly chart here for Tesla. Now, the question is, are we overextended? Whenever you look at a chart, I'm just going to go straight into it. Looking at a chart, it looks bullish. Like, it's been looking bullish. So at this point, I don't care about, like, you're not going to find anything on Ichimoku. You're not going to find anything on like Supichi. You're not going to find too much on like these moving averages. Everything is just pointing up like way outside, right? The question is, where are you going to find some potential resistance level? Are we overextended? Those are really the 2 key questions. So how are you going to do that? Well, first thing you're going to do is look at the Bollinger Band. You look at it on the weekly time frame, you look at it on the monthly time frame. The lower Bollinger Band is still pointing down. This trend is not exhausted yet. Are we overextended? We're a little bit overextended. We're over the upper Bollinger Band here for how many weeks in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 7, right? So it's a pretty crazy parabolic bull trend, but it's expanding Bollinger Band on the upside to the downside. There's no sign for exhaustion quite just yet, right? So on the monthly, you can see that this is also just kind of getting started here. Are we way outside of the open Bollinger Band? Yes. Are we overextended? Yes. But things can stay overextended for like almost like a whole year. This is Tesla. Whenever it gets going, it does that, right? So I'm not really that concerned in terms of being, the overextension. I'm not really seeing any exhaustion trend or anything trend on a monthly here. It just got started. So if you're looking at a higher time frame, you don't mind the plus or minus like 20% volatility that's going to occur on the way up, then it's a bull trend. The bull trend for Tesla is starting. I don't know if there's anything else I can say besides, like, you can see a Bollinger Band expanding. You can see price being extremely impulsive. There's like, objectively, this is a bull trend, right? Now, what else are you going to look at? Well, you're going to look at 2 things. One is, are we at a resistance level? Where do we get rejected? Initially I was thinking we end up getting rejected here in a round number, which is going to be the 1.272. I was thinking about $500, but no, I end up getting rejected here at a little bit of a, actually no, at a little bit of a lower level down here at the 1.236 fib level. Got rejected here almost perfectly, and it's just having a hard time pushing through because you're needing to wait for the Bollinger Band to expand, right? This is not anything bad. You do have a little bit of a doji candle. A lot of people call these kind of candles like doji candle. Oh, it looks like there's a big wick above. It's going to be bearish. Not necessarily. Doji can be continuation. Doji can be reversal. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes they, with a wick above, they can call these maybe a little bit more like gravestone kind of thing. I don't really think that there's anything necessarily to be worried about because the Bollinger Band on the weekly here is still expanding, right? It looks like I still want to push through, but we are at resistance level, so we'll see whether we're able to push through that. The other way to look at this in terms of like a very, very nice bull trend to see what levels you might be looking at is the Gann chart, right? Now, I don't have a Gann chart here drawn. I'm just going to draw it real quick. And the Gann here is going to be a pretty simple Gann that I'm going to draw here on log scale from the low here. I'm messing up the Fibonacci level here. From the low here, all I'm going to do here is 360. I think 360 is going to give me some pretty decent market symmetry. So 360, there are 2 numbers I can enter. I can enter 5. If you can enter 5, you can see that there's extremely well market symmetry here, right? This arc here has been resistance, flip support, push up here to the next arc up here, got rejected here horizontal, came back down, right? Came back down, and then eventually as they regarded back to the arc here, bounced from the arc. It looks like they were pushing for this horizontal zone over here. They got rejected over here from previous all-time high. So where is it going to go to? It's probably going to go up here to like 700, somewhere around here, to the arc up here, right? Somewhere around 700s. If you're looking at another way, if I just change the ratio from 5 to 10, you still see some really beautiful market symmetry here. Rejection, flip support, rejection, push through, rejection, flip support, and now where's price want to go to? Around 700 here at the horizontal. They tell you the same thing. It doesn't really matter. They tell you the same thing, right? It pushes through here, then you talk about maybe like four figures in Tesla, somewhere up here, maybe even as soon as like 2025, 2026, somewhere around there, right? Depends on where it lands. It could push through even a little bit higher. I'm not going to say that's not, right? But so far, this is very much of a bull trend. Now, if you look at a Fibonacci level here, a little bit more specifically, you can see that 700 is going to be a pretty important level up here. But before that, you have a few numbers here. Now, I got rejected at 488. Initially I was hoping like for 500, but it didn't. It just ended up getting hit instead of 1.272. It got hit at 1.236. So be it, right? I think it's going to push through given time, and the next level, big level, is going to be 540, 600, and 700. Those are going to be big levels up here above. So if you want to take profits, maybe those are kind of levels you have to think about. But for me, I'm just going to keep holding because of how crazy this bull trend is starting. I don't even care if it drops like 30%. Like, this is going to keep going over time. It drops like 30-40%. If it like if it drops and have like this big giant drop like it did over here during COVID, it's an opportunity to buy. Palantir is a little bit of a different story here. Are we overextended here on the Bollinger Band? Oh, you betcha, it's overextended on the monthly Bollinger Band. You can come back all the way down to like 60, and it would still be healthy, because that's where the upper Bollinger Band is at. Like, it's right now, you're just hanging in space. Generally, these things are not favorable. Now, you can come back down and correct for your price, or you can just end up getting stuck where you are, wait for next month to go sideways here for the Bollinger Band to kind of catch up. But right now I'm worried about price going back to 60. You hear all these people saying the price is going to drop all the way down to like 30, 20. I don't think that's going to happen. 60, realistic. It could end up being a back test of the Bollinger Band. Make sure that we're respecting gravity before going higher. But yeah, I just don't. It's overextended here on the monthly. On the weekly, it's not overextended. Weekly, if anything, I think you're starting to see a little bit of exhaustion here, because the low Bollinger Band is starting to curl up here a little bit. Doesn't mean that it's not going to keep going pushing it higher. No, you can keep pushing it higher. You see how the Bollinger Band over here got exhausted. It just kept pushing it higher, right? It's not an end all be all. I think it can still continue to go up higher with a little bit of tiredness. That's fine, right? But I just want to show a couple other things here too. This is a Gann chart that I've drawn. We push through this Gann arc over here, push through this Gann arc over here like this butter, went to a horizontal zone over here. So far, you're kind of back testing a horizontal line over here as support, right? We are kind of getting a little rejected here at the 1.272, and we're kind of hovering between 1.272 and then 1.236. We're hovering around here, right? The next step, because the trend is to the upside, the next step after consolidation here is probably going to keep going up. And the price is going to hit this, the target's up here. You can see it 104, and then you have the arc up here around like 130, and then you have the 1.61 level here around 157, and that could be a very, very strong resistance level up here in 1.618, because it could literally whipsaw between 1.618 and 1.414 with huge volatility. Maybe within the arc, maybe outside the arc, it can get stuck here. Do I think that it's going to probably go higher? Maybe. Do I think it's going to happen in the cycle? I don't know. I have higher targets, but let's just go through one step at a time, right? Let's just go for one step at a time. It's a bull trend, a little bit exhausted, need a break. Potentially put up to some of these levels up here above. If it goes down, where is it going to go down to? I just talked to you about 60, right? Well, 60 is also going to be at the arc down here. If it pushes down to 60, that's bullish. That's bullish, right? Both in terms of monthly Bollinger Band and also in terms of the Gann chart, right? So I just want to kind of show you all that. And you can get additional level instead of drawing the fit levels here on log scale. You can draw it on linear scale. You're gonna find a lot of support here around 60, 61, right? 1.4 is around 61. You already back tested over here. You could come back test it again. That's fine before further bullish continuation. That's your downside risk. Your upside risk are the ones I was just mentioning to you about. The upside risk is triple digits, around 104, 130, 157. Downside risk, 60. You decide, right? I favor, in a bull trend, I favor further bullish continuation. That's just objective. So, Nvidia. What is Nvidia doing? Nvidia is doing okay, actually. Like, if you take off all these, indicators, you just look and see, like, basically you have a level here, resistance, and you broke through, you back testing that. Nvidia does that over and over again. Nvidia does that here. It did that here too, right? It broke above, I remember everybody was talking about like a head and shoulder pattern, and I was one of those that are screwing head and shoulder continuation pattern, because the bull support band was going to push price up higher, because we're still at the beginning of the bull market. It's going to push the price up higher. Sure enough, it did, right? What's happening right now? Right. You have a little bit of a double top here. Everybody's calling double top. You have a breakthrough and you have a back test right smack into the bonus support band. There's a lot of like similarities between here and here. I think price is going to end up bouncing up here and go up higher. What happened after the bounce here? What it consolidated sideways here for like 2 months and it just shot way up, right? Maybe this is a consolidation over here. Maybe this is a back test of bonus support band. Maybe we've already gone through this 2 or 3 months of consolidation and it's going to go boom, right? It's going to go boom down. Who knows? I just think that this is still a bullish trend. You can see how like Nvidia, this is how every stock behaves differently. This is how Nvidia behaves before it moves up higher, right? It keeps on doing these kinds of things where it breaks above level, kind of back tests a little bit before going higher. That's what Nvidia does. That's just what Nvidia does. So I'm not going to bet against a rising bonus support band. I'm just not going to bet against it. If you look at a monthly here too, and bull in Japan is still very much of a bull trend. You are having a little bull in Japan kind of coming back here. So I do think that, seeing that we might end up having another leg up, maybe another 2 or 3x to like, 300, maybe even like 350 or 400. 350 might be where I think it's going to end. Maybe lower, who knows? But I think there's going to be another leg up before the trend's just completely exhausting and enter like a little bit of a bear market. That's kind of what I'm seeing with Nvidia. If you're looking at the fit levels here, you can totally see why it's getting rejected, because you got rejected here as 272 here almost perfectly, right? It didn't really have to come back test to arc here. It could, but it didn't. It's just more back test to breakout level over here from resistance, and want to make sure that it's good support, right? Just like over here, it didn't really back test to horizontal line over here. Here, it didn't seem like it wants to back test to arc. Where's it going to go now? If it goes up, it's going to go probably to 350, right? Because what happened down here after it broke through the arc is probably going to go to the next level, right? Same thing here. After it got stuck here in the arc here for 7 months, broke through the arc, where's it going to go? The next horizontal level, right? Broke through the arc here, where's it going to go? Maybe the next horizontal level, 350. It could end up being a little bit premature, just like over here, we bring about the horizontal level here. Didn't really quite make to the arc here during the cycle. You might have a little bit of premature rejection, which is going to maybe like around 2.618. That could be the cycle high. But I really do think it's probably going to gravitate up to like 350. Those are my quick thoughts on Nvidia, Tesla, and Palantir. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one. Bye.